Tens of thousands of people across the country and right here in San Diego are going to be firing up the grill this holiday weekend. And just as important as what you're going to be cooking is how you're going to be cooking it. Ricardo Encarnacion joins us this morning from the San Diego County Department of Environmental Health. And every year, a lot of people get sick because they're just not careful when they're grilling.
That's true, Greg, and that's why we're here from the County Department of Environmental Health to provide some food safety tips so people have a fun and safe summer.
Gotcha. All right, so we're going to start with, you say one of the biggest problems why people get sick is because they don't have good hand hygiene.
Right. Hand washing is key. It's a very simple and important measure to control foodborne illnesses. And what we have here is a simple setup. If you don't have access to running water and hand washing at the park or wherever you're at, you can bring something like this to the park. Either a cooler with or one of these jugs that you can get at the supermarket with a spout, so you can freely wash your hands, and of course soap and paper towels.
Gotcha. So just plan ahead if you're not going to be at home.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, and we want to keep the meat separated, right? We got the cooked meat versus the raw meat. That's where a lot of people run into problems.
Yeah, very simple principle of separation. Separate your raw from your ready to eat, or your cooked from your raw.
Seems obvious, but a lot of people mix it, and then you get sick.
Right. And especially like with salads. You know, salads you're not going to cook. And if you're going to pack everything together, you kind of want to separate everything. Maybe even have separate containers.
Right, the juices.
Yeah, you don't want the juices from the meat going into the salad, which you're not going to cook. And then if people eat salads that have the juices from the raw meat, then you're going to have a couple of bellyaches out there.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that you have plenty of saran wrap, right? To keep those meats hopefully secure so the juices don't get out.
True.
Gotcha. Okay, and we were talking about you want to have separate cutting boards.
Yeah, if you can have separate cutting boards, separate utensils for the raw and the ready to eat, separate tongs, or like when you're cooking on the grill, so that you don't again cross-contaminate raw from the ready to eat foods.
And this really all comes down to just planning ahead if you're not going to be at home, because obviously at home most people have a couple of cutting boards, but if you're going to the park or beach, you're not going to. Generally, you're not going to have the cutting boards unless you pack it, right?
Yeah, tell all your family and friends to bring extra utensils while they're getting food off the grill.
Gotcha. All right, and what about the cooler?
The cooler is another part of planning ahead. We have the chilling of the food. While you're bringing the food to the park, make sure you have enough ice. Make sure you have enough coolers. Make sure you have enough coolers to separate the raw and the ready to eat. Make sure you have enough coolers to have enough ice in case you're going to be there. It's a long, hot day in the summer. Make sure you have enough to keep the food cool. We recommend 45 degrees, 41 to 45 or below, which is another point, how you can know the temperature.
And again, seems simple, but like you said, a lot of 4th of July's.
Right.
It's hot. You're out there all day at the beach or at the park. You want to make sure that your food stays cold, because if it gets warm, you eat bad food, you get sick. Yeah,
that's when the germs will grow. You don't want it to warm over, and over time, as the germs get larger and larger amount, you eat it, you'll get sick.
Right.
So the temperature. So we have a thermometer here. You can get it at the store. You can get a digital one, or you can get like one that's really simple, like a little analog one.
And the simple ones work fine.
Yeah, they work very fine. You just put it into the meat as and make sure you get the right cooking temperature. For ground beef, it's 155 degrees Fahrenheit. For chicken, 165. So you want to put your thermometer in the thickest part of the meat.
The thickest part, and then a couple of different parts.
That's true, yeah, and a couple of different parts. And always keep in mind that these probes have a sensor. They're not at the tip. So you want to make sure that it's deep enough to get the right temperature.
Right, and that's, again, repeat it, 155 you said for meat?
155 for ground beef.
For ground beef.
165 for chicken.
Okay, got it.
All other meats, 145.
145 for fish.
Right.
Okay.
Fish or pork.
Perfect. So the key is just plan ahead. Just make sure if you're not going to be at home, you take everything with you so you don't end up getting sick and no one ends up having a bad 4th of July.
Yeah, so they'll come back to your parties.
Right, exactly. Come back next year.
Yeah.
All right. Rick, thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, some good information. And for more information, as always, you can go to our website, san diego6.com.